Ladies and dudes, it's the Vulgar One, the Vulgar Son, the Vulgar Desperado, representing the Jabberjaws. And before we get into it, please hit that like and subscribe button. Would really appreciate some love and support. Leave some comments if you got something to say. Appreciate all of it. Thank you very much. So, I saw this article on Bounding Into Comics, and it was kind of interesting. Actually, really wasn't much. It just kind of made me want to talk about something because I thought it was funny. So, long story short, not burying the lead, Static Shock movie is reportedly still in development from the comic book artist Nicholas Daper Ivory tells fans to be patient and stop speculating. And, I mean, long story short, that ain't really nothing new. It's still on the shelves from what it sounds like, If you pull up the article, it does show that, Michael B. Jordan was set to produce. He's still kind of set to produce. No real updates on it. It's just, just chilling in limbo right now. My main thing is I kind of wanted to, focus on the artist that had the comments out there. He put out a tweet, said, "Stop speculating about the Static movie. Don't worry about those articles and be patient. I will not elaborate on this any further, plain and simple." So, my whole thing with that, I thought it was just kind of funny because he said, "Stop speculating." And I don't know exactly what he's referring to, but I found that just funny considering what the Static Shock comic book is about right now. Or not even what it is about because it's over. It was like a little 6-issue series. And, it's funny to tell fans not to, speculate. Now, granted, I'll be real. Let's before I go clear, there's 2 ways you can speculate this. There's the speculation that it's dead in the water, that it's not happening. And then there's the speculation that this movie might be woke as shit and that we should not fucking have this movie, right? So, let's be clear. This guy, along with fucking Vita Ayala, and if you know who Vita Ayala is, I'm going to show just tiny little bits. If you just Google her name right here, you will see what kind of comic book writer she is and her presence on Twitter, what kind of person she is. And her and this dude, while admittedly the art isn't so bad, I mean, some of these images, homie, look a little fuckboyish, if you see what I'm talking about. He got this lip bite over here. It's a little, but I do like this man's art. But mind you, from who one of the writers is and the world we are in right now and what the Static comic book was about, mind you, it was about some BLM ties. That was a big part of their little 6-issue run. Okay. Now, why would people not be speculating? Why would people not be worried, right? You know what I mean? Like, in a lot of ways, if that is what is potentially going to be made, I'd almost rather not have a Static movie. You know what I'm saying? Because rest in peace to Wayne McDuffie, he, did give you a, quote-unquote black story with Static Shock, especially in the original comic book, and how he gets his origin stories. It has to do with gang relations, something that kids in the 90s would actually kind of be able to understand and relate to. And I understand the modern take with the BLM, but let's be real. We all know what the fuck is going on right now. You have a lot of these charters getting fucking the feds on them for basically money laundering, money disappearing and shit like that. There's not a good name attached to that shit. And just like Amber Turd with, any future projects, I'm pretty sure DC and Warner Brothers don't want to be associated to something that's very negative in public current times right now. So, again, he might not be talking about that, and in some ways it's good that it's, still on the shelves, right? But that being said, there are things to worry about when it comes to this movie other than the fact that it hasn't happened yet or there isn't any new news, there is no casting, none of that shit. There's other things that fans should worry about, okay? Static, even though it has some deeper topics, and using the word woke like how we used to use it, being aware and alert, you could kind of say there was some of that in Static, just kind of getting out of gang life. That's like being woke, right? But we know how to use it today. We know what the fuck it means today, and nobody wants woke fucking Static Shock, alright? You be fucking 2 steps off from having him be at Brokeback Mountain if we have woke Static, you know what I'm saying? Nobody wants that shit, Static was a pretty inclusive and, richly diverse and good show for everybody. People want to attribute it to the black superhero, but a lot of white kids are watching Static Shock too. You know, it's more of an error thing. You know, ERA era than, you know, not error than it is like a nationality thing, right? Everybody was watching it. If you had fucking WB, you know what I'm saying? You had Cartoon Network when it came on there. You were probably aware of Static Shock. He made an appearance in the Justice League show. It was very big and popular in that time. It's, you know, it's not just for black people. You know how like some of these directors and writers, you know, they're like, oh, it's just for girls. It's just for them. No, Static's not like that. And the things that I fear is that you'll have these directors or writers, you know, come out. You know, you don't want it to be what they try to make Black Panther into. You know, Black Panther's for everybody, but you do have some idiots out there that's like, oh, this is just for black people, and get mad when the little white boy wears the Black Panther t-shirt. We don't want those kind of articles and headlines and shit for Static Shock. Especially if you're like a DC fan, just a Static fan, and Dwayne McDuffie fan, you really want to see this shit grow to what it was, and what it was fantastic, okay? The comic books were legit. And they did, I mean, you know, you can make a lot of arguments saying it did do good for race relations. They did tackle those things, and Static's best friend was white, and, you know, like, there's a lot of, I mean, hell, in the end of that shit, he married a white girl. So, you know, I don't know if people even know that, but Static marries a white girl and has children at the end of the whole Static Milestone universe, you know. So, there's a lot of things there that just, in general, is not that kind of, you know, BML approach to storytelling, right? You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean. Yeah.
So hopefully, you know, whatever he was talking about in the context of speculating, it's nothing bad, you know. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I do kind of speculate it to be woke. I am expecting it to be shitty. I don't have much faith in it because that's modern entertainment nowadays, you know. Fingers crossed for Black Adam, and I think Black Adam will be a good kind of indicator for where the future DC is going. Being it, that's the most recent, but that being said, you gotta be wary about what they say, you know. And the fact that it's in limbo, hell, it could have been just like Batgirl, right? It could have been just like that, and they had to scrap some scripts, and maybe they're redoing it for a more actual diverse and actually woke and not racist audience. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever you may feel, whatever your political leanings, it doesn't matter. We don't want divisive entertainment. You don't want to have these Elizabeth Banks and Viola Davises coming out here telling you that you support a certain stereotype if you don't go see their film. You know what I'm saying? That's not what Static is. That's not what comics is. And we have enough of these motherfuckers coming out saying that shit. Admittedly, I don't know if he's saying that or not, and that's kind of the point, but in the concept of speculating, you sometimes have to speculate these things. You do have to worry because of where the comic is at. Will they take that route? Will they be true to the real source? Will they be true to Dwayne McDuffie and who he was as a writer? I really don't know. You know, if you look up, there was an interview actually with his widow and this other guy. They did this Green Arrow anniversary kind of article speaking on, you know, on Dwayne McDuffie and, you know, how he kind of conceptualized the Green Lantern Hawk Girl romance. And the artist, he, you know, it mentions in there, like, you know, Dwayne McDuffie's like, hey, you don't want to be too preachy to your audience. You don't want to talk down to your audience, but hey, if you can show them something at the same time, then, you know, that's good. And that is the big issue with a lot of modern entertainment. Mofos do not know how to speak kindly and respectfully, and also teach, but also entertain their audience at the same time. People don't know how to do it. It's a fantastic juggling act if you can accomplish it, but some of these mofos right now, I think you need to entertain and let YouTube do the teaching, because that's where we're all going to learn some bullshit. Y'all know what it is, the Indian guy off of YouTube giving you your fucking programming tutorials or whatever the fuck. Anyways, fingers crossed for this Static movie. I mean, again, this is kind of in the middle. It doesn't look like anything's happening anytime soon, but still in limbo. So let's fingers crossed that it does not suck a fat one. But y'all know what it is. It is the Vulgar One, the Vulgar Son, the Vulgar Desperado. Jabberjaws in the booth. Please like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. And we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.